Hey, what's up everybody, it's your boy Proftrof and we're back again with another 40k Warhammer 40k content video. What the fuck am I saying now? It doesn't matter. Listen, I found out yesterday that I don't know shit about Abaddon, and Abaddon is supposed to be an important character, right? So let's find some shit out about Abaddon. This is MajorKill's Why Abaddon is a Terrible Protagonist. I actually tried to find like an Abaddon lore video and there wasn't for some reason. At least I could not find one. I didn't search that much, but I mean I typed Abaddon lore in YouTube and it's pretty much the most, shit I could find. Um, Hopefully he explains a little bit about Abaddon besides just calling him a bum in this video, so I guess we shall see. Yeah, let's get to
Hey
it,
guys
please.
and gal, there are a lot of memes in Warhammer 40k, so much so that sometimes
Yo, by the way, quick FYI, I googled that fucking Space Marine from the Jungle shit, the one that's supposed to be a portrait parody of fuck, what was that dude in the World War One that kills people in the jungle? Y'all know what I mean. The Sylvester Stallone motherfucker, Rambo. He's supposed to be a parody of Rambo, and there was like a fucking list in Wikipedia, like the 40k Wikipedia, where it's like things that he has done. I laughed my ass off reading that shit. It's like he threw a grenade and he killed 5 orcs before the grenade exploded. And the whole list was like that. I fucking laughed so much.
it becomes
That shit
hard
was
to
extremely
distinguish between
entertaining.
canon lore and a solid meme. Some such memes are stupid and should die violent deaths.
Fuck is
Other
that
memes
shit?
are actually quite valid. The fail Abaddon meme, despite violent deaths. Other memes are actually quite valid.
He's Alpharius. You idiots, we're all Alpharius. Hey, is this the Alpha Legion meme? That's pretty funny.
The fail Abaddon meme, despite having a terrible uncatchy name, is actually one of the valid ones, and not only makes the War Master of Chaos look like a little naive bitch,
Master
but
of
also
Chaos.
incredibly weak. Losing melee fights to old Eldar wizards, getting your ass kicked by girls, failing to kill characters that should have been a piece of cake on multiple occasions, and needing 13 attempts to get past the Imperium's first line of defense. Abaddon the Despoiler, Lord of the Black Legion and War Master of Chaos,
He kind of looks a little bit like Horus, doesn't he? Or is it just me?
is a stupid character and should not be the big bad of Warhammer 40k setting, and today I'll explain why. We'll go over some of his key lore points as well as comparing his successes with his failures.
Nice.
Even with the new lore sucking him off, as well as a lot of the old lore making him look bad having been reconned, there are still a lot of things that are quite embarrassing about him. Let's get into it. Off the bat, Abaddon wasn't some struggling character who fought his way to the top due to his tenacity and cunning. No, he was born genetically gifted to be a beast of a man, killing his father as a child and easily qualifying as an Astartes of the Lunar Wolves, as he was also one of the first
Oh, he's not a Primarch. He's a normal Space Marine.
Marines to be recruited.
Well,
He easily
as normal as Space Marines go, you know.
ascended into the role of first captain of the Lunar Wolves because of his huge powerful body, massive even by Space Marine standards, and allowed him to kick ass in training. So bang, there you go, first captain of the Lunar Wolves and Horus's closest advisor because he was a big chungus who was found early and impressed people due to his face-breaking ability. Sounds like a really great and inspiring start to a character that we're supposed to like. Throughout the Great Crusade, Abaddon was lauded as a legendary hero and great warrior, when all he really did was kiss Horus's ass and gargle his balls, whilst better characters like Gavriel Loken took the spotlight.
Oh.
For the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, Abaddon wanted to be a Darth Vader, a Sauron, but in truth, he was just a Starscream. Sure, he led a cool group of Terminators who
Hey, one second. Hey, we're back, sorry about that, everybody.
delivered an absolute pounding to his enemies, but one of the many Titans deployed during the Crusade and Heresy did just as much damage if not more. Even in his early duel with Loken, despite beating Loken as he obviously should have, he did not kill him for some reason, a mistake which would end up costing Abaddon and his thugs later down the track.
Thugs.
Abaddon was not set up to be this interesting, compelling character prior to the death of Horus. He had no character arc or huge setup. He didn't do anything particularly cool. It was a big case of tell don't show. Some notable characters were like, wow, that Abaddon, ooh, he's really scary, you know. Horus is tough and all the other traitor Primarchs could bend Abaddon.
Hey, nice prisoner tattoos, buddy. Sure you got your ass fucked for a couple
over and sodomize him at a moment's notice, but damn, we really gotta watch that one. He might be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Then a couple books later, a named space marine has Abaddon at his mercy, with Abaddon only surviving because he gets teleported out at the last second, something Abaddon ends up doing on multiple occasions. Now, I don't know about you, but getting teleported to safety the moment before death is literally the definition of plot armor. I cannot think of any other circumstance which contains higher levels of plot armor than that. Master Chief fell from orbit,
Obviously, you haven't seen Naruto.
and walked it off, and I consider that to be less plot armor than last minute teleporting. With Horus dead, the traitor legions fled into the Eye of Terror and promptly begun infighting. The Sons of Horus suffered the worst as their Primarch was dead, and all their other captains or named characters were either dead, loyalist, or they were fucking Abaddon, who, as we are rapidly establishing, is a bit of a shit. But even a bit of a shit is better than nothing, so whilst Abaddon could have helped hold his legion together, he instead took their greatest asset, the warship Vengeful Spirit, and buggered it off to do some soul searching. Meanwhile, the remaining Sons of Horus got wrecked by the Emperor's children of all people, and Horus's body was stolen, but not before Abaddon stole the talons of Horus from it. Eventually, a group of Marines who were sick of how pathetic the traitor legions had become got wind of where Abaddon and his big-ass ship could be, hence they went to go find him. And find him they did. Abaddon was like, "Yo guys, I had a sudden original thought, an inspiring epiphany. What if we stop killing each other and instead kill the Emperor?" And everyone was like, yes, thank you, Abaddon. All of us have been thinking that for a while now. You aren't special." And Abaddon was like, "I am honored that you have nominated me as your leader. I humbly accept." And the Marines were like, "We didn't, but sure, okay." Abaddon realized that his quest to be the new War Master would end pretty quickly if his daddy was cloned and brought back to life. Hence, he pulled off some bullshit fuckery. Him and his new tiny-ass legion went to the Emperor's children's planet, and using the power of just one psyker, they were able to drag a ship across the warp with them and lob it at the planet. Cause sure, why not? Let's also click and end HIV as well if psychic powers from random sorcerers are that powerful. The falling ship was huge and blew up a lot of
Yeah, I think that, like, they've mentioned on repeated occasions that the Emperor has sacrificed like 100 psychers a day to be able to keep, the teleportation going and shit. So like one seems kind of fuckity.
the planet, forcing the Emperor's children out of their fortress. Abaddon and his crew then boarded their flagship and massacred their way through it, until they came face to face with the Horus clone, decked out in Horus's armor and with Horus's mace. But as we have established, all Primarch clones bar the Fulgrim clone are worthless twats. Hence Abaddon was not only able to catch Horus's mace mid-swing, but he then broke it in his hand, which is fucking retarded, but sure. He was then able to kill the Horus clone without breaking a sweat. Now, I know they did this so people would be like, "Wow, he's so amazing and cool, he is more powerful than Horus." But all they really did was make people go, "Wow, Fabius Bile really fucking sucks at cloning." However, killing the Horus clone and clapping some Emperor's children was enough to impress a lot of traitor warbands, who flocked to his banner, as it turns out that rotting away in a literal hell is pretty gay. Abaddon called his new mixed army of space marines the Black Legion, despite being made up entirely of white guys, and begun his 13 Black Crusades against the Imperium. And they didn't really do much. But MajorKill, each Black Crusade is
Shit, Timmy. Always the worst time to fucking speak. Poor Timmy.
and achieved
He's
the
about to
goal
get
that Abaddon
bullied.
set out for it, hence making him awesome. Shut your heretical mouth, Timmy, before I fist you 13 times, you little shit. What if I like it? Yuck, you Slaneshi piece of cum. If you like it, then on the 13th time, I'll cover my hand with super glue, so when I pull it out, it'll tear the lining of your asshole out with it. Sure, Games Workshop realized that Abaddon failing 13 Black Crusades made
Brother, what the fuck?
it. Sure, Games Workshop realized that Abaddon failing 13 Black Crusades made him look
Okay, I have one little question. 13 Crusades, okay. How the fuck did he survive 13 failures? Like, the Chaos Legions, like the Chaos Space Marines so far have been, they've they've kind of gone into the, the most powerful rules and shit like that, right? That's why they chose Abaddon, because they thought he was the strongest. After 13 failures, wouldn't they be like, hey bro, this dude kind of sucks, can we just off him and put someone else in charge or some
A
shit?
little bit incompetent.
And another point, how many of them have survived 13 fucking crusades? Jesus Christ.
So they reconned it so that each crusade had a specific goal which would further his plans. In his first crusade he found the sword Dracian, how the fuck you say it. In another crusade he betrayed one of his allies and killed him for some reason. In another crusade he tried to capture 6 Blackstone fortresses but ended up with only 2. I guess when you set the bar low it's pretty easy to succeed. But even with the low bar, he still struggled pretty hard. Abaddon's goal is to remove a corpse from its life support system. He has had 10,000 years, as well as 13 good cracks to get closer to that goal, yet he's still miles off.
Has he ever reached Terra during those 13 crusades or not?
It's 7 years and nearly killed the Emperor. Sure, Horus had a full traitor legions that were not yet useless, as well as their Primarchs. He also had the element of surprise, yet he was against the living Emperor, his Primarch sons, and an Imperium that was at its peak, and not yet having to deal with Tyranids and Necrons. Abaddon is fighting an Imperium that has been decaying for 10,000 years, has known Primarchs up until recently, and was fighting wars on every front. All this tying together paints Abaddon as just a discount Horus. I think his fight with Sigismund sums it up perfectly. Early on in his career as the new War Master of Chaos, Abaddon dueled the legendary Sigismund. Now Sigismund was the most powerful Space Marine during his prime.
I don't know who Sigismund is. I am kinda sad I don't know who he is.
But he was now old, his body weakened by age and war. Despite this, Sigismund nearly killed Abaddon.
Weakened by age? I thought Space Marines were like, you don't age because you're a Space Marine.
Abaddon, who was already buffed by Chaos and still in his prime. Sigismund actually ended up landing the first fatal strike, impaling Abaddon with his sword, however allowing Abaddon to cut him in half in return. Abaddon survived because he had 4 Chaos Gods sucking him off, but he was more or less in a coma for a decent while, and remarked that if Sigismund hadn't been an old man, he would have been killed for sure. From there, Abaddon would suffer another defeat from another Space Marine. This time, just after his 6th Black Crusade, him and his boys invaded a world and crushed the Blood Angels that were defending it. All of them bar Thalassian Jorus and his Death Company. Outnumbered 1,000 to 1, with his soldiers just being mindless berserkers, Jorus saw only one option: kill everyone. And by God...
Oh, is this the dude that managed to transcend his rage and shit? Or is it not the dude?
They put in a few good rounds. Waging a lightning guerrilla warfare campaign, the Black Legion was sodomized time and time again, until the Death Company and Jorus finally ambushed Abaddon and his guard. Jorus faced Abaddon in a duel and kicked his ass, wounding him and forcing Abaddon to run like the bitch he is. Jorus would then be killed by the endless tide of Black Legion surrounding him, but you bet he took a fat number of them with him. Abaddon would then go on to suffer his most humiliating defeat of all. At the height of his power, with Dracian in hand, I don't know how to say that word, but he fought Eldrad in a melee fight. Now Eldrad is incredibly powerful, but he's incredibly powerful because he's a powerful wizard, not a fucking swordsman. So when Eldrad Leroy Jenkins'd in with a spear straight towards Abaddon, you would generally expect Abaddon to cut him in half. But no, Eldrad straight up stabs Abaddon in the throat, and before he can finish him off, the Chaos Gods teleport Abaddon to safety. Eldrad is also incredibly old, and his bones are crystallizing. This isn't some springy Phoenix Lord I'm talking about, alright? It's an old man. Now, you could argue that Abaddon getting his...
Your Abaddon seems to get his ass beat by old man a lot.
His ass kicked regularly is deliberate, as it shows him to be a mortal man and a relatable character.
That's a weird
He isn't a
sword.
godlike Primarch and he isn't invincible. But the standards of opponents that whoop him is pretty low. It should take a squadron of named Space Marines to fight him back, or maybe someone like Gilliman, a low tier Primarch when it comes to combat, to match him. But with the lore we've gotten, the big G-Man would end Abby in one punch. Abaddon can't be both the demigod Warmaster of Chaos, their greatest warrior ever, and also a useless piece of shit. It's jarring to be told how great a character is only to see them get clapped time and time again. People say Abaddon is cool and unique, as despite serving Chaos, he doesn't actually serve Chaos and just wields them as a powerful ally to achieve his goals. They say his soul is still his own, and that no one has ever been able to take power from Chaos without being dominated by it. And to that I say shut the fuck up. If someone has a swastika tattooed on their head, they join a neo-Nazi club, and then they go out and be obnoxious racist assholes at the behest of their ghost Hitler, they are a Nazi. They can't say, "Oh nah, I'm just using Nazism as a tool to achieve my goals. I'm actually a free-thinking person." Same goes for Abaddon. He has the Star of Chaos on his head. He's infused with chaotic power. His sword is a demon, and he does exactly what the Chaos Gods want. He is a pawn of chaos. If the gods desired it, they could click their fingers and turn him into a chaos spawn. Him thinking he has control over his soul makes him a more effective pawn for them to use. Let's humour him for a second and pretend he actually does have control over his own destiny, his own goals. What does he do with this free will? Well, he does exactly what Chaos wants him to do. He's not a compelling character because his motivations are stupid beyond, "I am evil, Emperor must die, Ree!" He constantly bags out Horus for being a puppet of Chaos and allowing Chaos to control him when he's doing the exact same thing. The only difference is that Horus didn't need 10,000 years and 13 fucking attempts to get something done. But MajorKill, Abaddon got all the demon Primarchs to give him their blessings. That surely counts for something. Shut your fucking mouth, Timmy. Yes, in his 13th Black Crusade, he did do that, but it's not a hard thing to do. He just offered Fulgrim a bunch of sex slaves and offered similar prizes to the other Primarchs, or he just pulled off some random plot progression bullshit to force their blessing. So he established he isn't very good in combat, he doesn't have control over his soul or destiny, and he's
Is he a genius general?
bold despite his attempts at a top knot. So he must be a great commander then. Not at all. On the tabletop, his unit buffs are trash and he often gets outdone. In the Battle of Cadia, he actually lost. His army was driven back and he was forced to retreat after he got clapped by 2 girls. Cadia only fell because he threw one of his Blackstone fortresses at it, which is some bullshit if you ask me. He then went on to fight Marneus Calgar in a duel, and Calgar kicked his ass for a bit, breaking his jaw and uppercutting him so hard that it cracked his armor and lifted him up from his feet. In fact, the only reason why Abaddon was then able to cut through Calgar's power fist and armor is because he had a way higher level weapon, meaning that without his demon sword, there's a good chance that Calgar, an old space marine, would have bodied Abaddon on that
Another old space marine beating his ass. I'm starting to see a repetition here.
day. Calgar only ever intended to delay Abaddon so that the vengeful spirit could get curb stomped. So not only did he struggle in a duel, but he got baited hard in the process. This is recent lore as well, by the way. Abaddon should be a sidekick, one of the main bad guy's lieutenants, the guy you kill before you fight the main boss. He shouldn't be the main boss. There are numerous other chaotic characters that easily surpass him in power and achievements. Khan the Betrayer would rape Abaddon, Aruman could turn him into dust, hell even that degenerate Lucius could give him a run for his money.
I don't know who any of these people are. Okay, you know, at this point, after doing like 30 Warhammer lore videos, I thought I was progressing. Like, the more I learn about Warhammer, the more I learn I don't know shit about Warhammer. Which is cool in its own way, because, you know, the more you have to digest as knowledge is, the more interested you are. As I am now, I'm fucking interested as hell in this shit.
All of that would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that he wasn't such a dick about it. Abaddon thinks he's the best and that he knows better. It makes him unlikable and unrelatable. You don't get that chill and awe of when Darth Vader is on screen, nor do you feel like you're versing a godlike...
Yo, by the way, since he's mentioning Darth Vader that much, has anyone that watches this video read one of those Darth Vader comics? Like, immediately after the betrayal, like after he was put in the suit and all that shit, he goes to a rebel planet and the rebels surround him. And like, this is a comic one, I don't remember which comic it was from, but it was like one of the bad, like, when I read that shit, I got fucking goosebumps. And the rebels are like, "Hey bro, we captured Darth Vader." And they're like, I don't remember what the rebels told him, but Darth Vader was like, "Hey, I am surrounded by nothing but fear and dead men." Oh, and then he slaughters the fuck out of them. That shit was so badass.
Super being like when Sauron makes an appearance. We just get this delusional dude who gets his hair yanked by some side characters. Turn Logan Grimnar into a Primaris and set him loose on Abaddon. I guarantee that all this shit from Abaddon's fear-induced Primaris...
Yo, who the fuck is this? My boy looks like a savage. Jesus, he looks so cool.
and set him loose on Abaddon, I guarantee that all this shit from Abaddon's fear-induced anus wouldn't even left his bowels yet before Logan had cut him into sashimi. And that does us for today, guys. Why Abaddon is a shitty choice for the role of the big bad. If you enjoyed the video and want to see some boobs, then Patreon is the place to be. And then one day give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more.
Okay. Well, that was the why Abaddon is a terrible antagonist. I actually didn't learn that much about Abaddon lore, besides that he's a loser, which I kind of like. If y'all have an Abaddon video that's like the details, all the crusades and shit, link it to me, please. I want to check that shit out. I want to see exactly why he's so trash. And another thing, okay, this is a question to all my Warhammer buddies. Okay, we know the Emperor is a primordial, immortal, whatever the fuck it's called. Like if he dies, he don't die, he come back. Okay. That is concrete evidence. We know that shit, okay? Emperor, a chair, a very strong chair at the moment, yeah? Life support chair. Why don't we just, yoink the life support so he dies and resurrects as a powerful motherfucker? Wouldn't that be better? I mean, yeah, the fucking Empire would probably fucking collapse on itself for like 100 years or however long it takes for him to come back. But after he comes back, everything's okay, no? Like, let me know why that is not a thing that anyone's like. Is that not a thing anyone's tried, or is everyone just afraid of the time that they won't have the Emperor for? Just let me know about that, because I'm starting to wonder about that shit. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a nice fucking day.